Alright, what's up everybody? Game 2, DoCa taking on Team Zenzyg as we have a round of 16 match in the Gold Cycle 7. Game 1 going to DoCa in about 20 minutes as they took a pretty easy victory, basically just down to the laning phase, and Team Zenzyg figuring it was already over. Let's just quit, go Game 2. Look to force a Game 3 because we probably were just going to be wasting our time if we continued in that previous game, and it's probably not inaccurate, so we'll see how they do here, and obviously looking to get a third and final game and then force a victory then. Definitely possible. I have adjusted my settings a little bit. Hopefully it's better. I think last game the in-game sound was a little bit too high and my microphone settings were not quite high enough. Obviously I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the sweet spots are on this, so if you guys have any feedback on that, please let me know in the comments section, because I don't necessarily want to sit here and watch these things that I've already recorded. It's weird listening to yourself like that. Anyway, we got game 1 well underway here, as we're about halfway through the drafting phase. Ravener and Ophelia in the first 2 bans for Team Zenzyg. Both quite interesting, as Ravener not a hero we see a ton of, but definitely a strong carry and one that can be difficult to deal with if he starts to snowball. Ophelia used to be a very common ban, not so much anymore. She really has some issues farming. If she does get farmed, she does very well. In Diamond Division, over 310 GPM, she is at 30-0. So, not bad at all if you can get farm. The difficulty, of course, is getting farm. Time to Die going to ban out Parasite and Swiftblade, much more common and much more generally powerful heroes, I think, are those, as we see them a ton. Legion side can pick up Kraken, Aluna, and Pebbles, so lots of burst damage so far here. Really good initiation. Kraken and Pebbles, both very strong teamfight starters, and of course Aluna helping out that with that burst. With the power throws, may provide the difference between Pebbles getting a kill and Pebbles not getting a kill, or maybe Aluna will snipe the kill. DoCa again saying, why would you ban Ophelia? Not bad. Anyway, we have a decent lineup, I think, on the Legion side. I'm not a huge fan of Aluna. I think she's actually one of the worst heroes in the game right now, and we'll see how that works out for Zenzyg. She is definitely a very strong laning support, but after that she tends to be completely terrible, so not optimistic. And Hellborn team going to go for a pretty damn serious Wombo combo lineup. They have the Engineer, Flux, and Tempest, so it's pretty obvious what they're going for right here. Engi Flux, obviously a tried and true combo. Pairs very well not only with their ultimates, as Flux can pull everybody into the energy field, but also in general, as Flux can do a lot to set up the Engi Keg and turret with his push and pull. It requires some pretty significant coordination, so if you're not really comfortable with the person that you're laning with, assuming those two heroes lane together, it can be very difficult to pull off. But if you have two people who are very much on the same page, then it's actually quite promising and potent. Flux, actually, I think, one of the more underrated heroes right now. It doesn't get picked all that much, but when he does, he tends to do very well. So right off the bat, I think DoCa with a pretty good draft advantage, and that leads into the second stage of bans. Wretched Hag, Magmus, and Malakin getting taken out by Wazo, Bubbles, Dr. Pulsar, and Puppet Master will be removed by Time to Die. So Hellborn team obviously focusing those carry bans more than anything else. They see Legion as plenty of initiation. They don't have too much late game, so trying to remove Doctor and Puppet, two of the more powerful heroes in that respect. Magmus and Hag, sort of initiators, and definitely heroes that would combo well with the existing Wombo combo potential of the Hellborn team. Malakin, same deal. When he activates that possession, of course, he gets the splash. So Legion side trying to prevent the Hellborn team from being able to get too much AoE damage, as their damage is almost entirely single target. They really have almost no AoE whatsoever, so this is going to be pretty much who can execute their strategy better. If the Hellborn team can group up and find the team fights they're looking for, then they will absolutely do very well in this game. If the Legion side can find pickoffs and ganks, then they should be able to take an edge, and in that type of situation I typically find that the team fight team tends to do a little bit better, because you can force 5v5 engagements much better than you can force single engagements. The Hellborn team, all they have to do is group up, and then the Legion side can't pick them off because there's 5 of them, and then they can start mowing down towers. Now, the Legion side do have Warbeast, so in terms of the split pushing, they have a pretty significant advantage, I would say. And if the Hellborn team tries to group up as 5 and just start mowing down towers, it's possible they may actually lose that race, because they do have a lot of pushing potential here on this Legion team, and that could work very well in their favor. Hellborn going to finish off their draft with Cthulhu and Gunblade. Gunblade a little bit of an interesting pick right here. Not too much in terms of the whole let's group up and do AoE wombo combo type stuff. Obviously his crippling slugs will help with that, but it's not really a situation where I feel like it's enough. Soul Stealer was on the board. I don't know if Zafran now can play Soul Stealer. My guess is he probably can. That would have felt really, really powerful here. It would have made their lineup very magic heavy in the early game, but obviously later on it would have given them a lot of physical damage potential as well, as Soul Stealer has plenty AoE, so I really would have preferred that pick in general. They also have plenty of lockdown. They really don't need a hero like Gunblade to be able to prevent anyone else from running away, and he doesn't do a great job of that anyway because his ultimate does restrain, but nobody on the Legion side has too many movement abilities. It's pretty much just the Kraken. And maybe, I don't know if it affect the Luna Deja Vu, my guess is it wouldn't, but so far I still like the Hellborn draft a little bit more. I'm not a huge fan of these gank-oriented lineups. They're really dependent on having a good laning phase. The Hellborn team can have a crappy laning phase and still group up, come back, and win the game. If the Legion side don't do well in the laning phase, they're absolutely screwed because they have Pebbles who needs to snowball. They have a Luna who's far and away better in the laning phase than she is in any other stage of the game, so if she doesn't have a good laning phase, what the hell is she doing? And then Kraken, of course, is going to need a relatively early portal key to be able to maximize his initiation potential and help get pickoffs and provide the only real AoE that this Legion side has. So this laning phase better go very much in favor of Team Zenzyg, otherwise I'm predicting a quite easy stomp here for Team DoCa, and in general I would say they are the better team in this matchup. We've seen a little bit more of them, of their players, and so my guess is that they, if you played this series 10 times, they'd probably win 7 or 8, or something like that. But, hey, that still does mean Zenzyg is not, a team that is going to be completely pushed over. So, we'll see what they can do here. It is going to be the Suicide Cthulhu in this long lane up against a Pebbles and a Luna combination. So they're short laning the Pebbles, which means they really want to make sure he gets plenty of farm, gets an early portal key, and off to a very good start. That's not a bad situation at all. I do generally prefer mid Pebbles, but having the short lane Pebbles is not something I'm completely opposed to, especially because they've set up the Warbeast in the jungle. So they can get Pebbles off to a good start in the bottom lane, get him an early portal key, create a lot of space, and then Warbeast can take over and sort of be that late game carry. And that's one of the advantages that having a carry type jungler has. You put Tempest, Ophelia, Parasite in the woods, and they are good late game heroes, but they're not carry heroes. So you can't put something like this with a Pebble short lane because otherwise you have absolutely no late game potential and you have to win the game by 30 minutes or you will lose, pretty much. And so the current lineup for the Legion side does work out well in that way. In general, I'm still a little bit worried about it because in general I do, like I said, prefer mid Pebbles. I feel like he does take serious advantage of having that bottle, not only in the laning phase, but later on having additional mana is extremely helpful for a hero like Pebbles, who uses a lot of spells and has almost no mana. And no glaciers or anything like that to help him out right here. So we'll see how much space this Pebbles can create with what should be a very good start. Currently sitting at 260 GPM, which is the top farm in the game. And not hugely surprising. Pebbles relatively easy to last hit with because of high early base damage. And missing a CS right there, but while you're under a tower, stuff happens. Meanwhile, Luna's managed to chase Cthulhu into the jungle. He's actually trying to annoy Warbeast a little bit. Going to throw a power throw right in his face with that Mock of Brilliance that's coming out of his head. It's doing a lot of damage now. Luna could be in a lot of trouble right here with a stun. Yeah, that's pretty Bloodlust. As time to die, it's just like, yeah, you cannot man up on me like that. Now, he probably is going to die right here as Kraken's going to rotate over. Actually misses the charge, and Cthulhu's going to survive. Oh, Wazo. Yeah, you can't. That's real bad. That's real bad. You can't be doing that. That's a charge that you absolutely should hit. There's really no excuse for that, so Kraken, unfortunately, going to miss a kill right here. Cthulhu in time that I will escape, not only getting that Bloodlust, but getting away, not having to pay for it. Now, middle lane, Wazo is getting shut down pretty effectively right here. Kraken is usually a hero that has a decent time against a 2v1. He is quite tanky, and of course has that splash to help him get auto attacks. But in this situation, Engineer and Flux clearly doing a very good job of keeping him off the lane. The overall CS score, he is only 6-1 compared to Flux at 14-6. So definitely things going in favor of DoCa in the early lane phase, and as I said before, that's not what they're looking for. on the Legion side. They definitely need to have a strong laning phase right here. Now bottom lane, Cthulhu going to take some damage from Pebbles. There's the power throw as well and the chuck in, but he's just going to be able to trample away whenever he wants to. He actually might try to turn this around. Pebbles could be in a lot of trouble. Luna's going to be able to get this kill unless she gets stunned, and even then she still might get it. As the power throw, charging it up, going to hit it. Time to die falling. Meantime, middle lane, Wazo died. In the top lane, I Love Sonya on the Suicide Madman also falls. So good thing that they managed to kill the Suicide Cthulhu. Not great that the kill goes to Luna, and even worse that they lose kills in both the top and middle lane, as things starting to go pretty bad for Team Zenzyg here right off the bat. Down about 1,500 gold and 1,500 experience. Gonna need to bring it back, and a lot of this essentially is going to ride on this Pebbles because he's the only one on the farm. You look at the GPM charts right now, 210 gold per minute from Warbeast. This jungle is not going very well at all. Warbeast's not the easiest hero to jungle with, but he should definitely be doing better than that. As I don't believe he said this one camp blocked out, but that's not enough to keep him at this low GPM. If that were Ophelia or Parasite, I would understand, but Warbeast actually, and that hard camp, it's almost impossible for him to jungle it early on anyway, so he really doesn't lose too much by having it down there. Now, you see his build, he is going the Wolves and Battle Cry. That is much more viable now with a reduced mana cost on his Wolves, so he can actually spam that and give additional base damage to his team, which of course helps them last hit. Doesn't seem like it's doing too much at this point considering the low GPMs, but at least it is somewhat helpful. Cthulhu bottom lane takes more damage, but he will be able to charge away once again. So time to die, 200 gold per minute. He's taking that death, not great, but he's going to get lane control here. He's level 4, and 200 GPM is not terrible, especially because top lane I Love Sonya going to die once again, so go back and check that out. Gunblade actually with the ultimate going to be enough damage here to finish him off, and that demonic shield helping out the last tower on attack will finish him off. So I Love Sonya trading his life for now. So in general, that would be a good trade. Of course, now though, getting the experience for the kill. So he's going to be level 7 now compared to a level 4 Madman. It's very difficult for Madman to continue to lane up here, especially if now starts to buy dust, and or if Engineer rotates over to the top lane. You look at the warding situation right now. They have no vision whatsoever. So if Engineer roams from the middle lane, heads top, and with some dust manages to surprise that Madman, could very well see a kill. And middle lane, of course, Kraken being shut down so effectively that Zafranthe should be able to maintain lane control and keep him out of it, even without assistance from the Engineer. So I'd like to see Engie head top, try to put some more pressure onto this Madman, and failing that, maybe look for Warbeast, maybe gank bottom, but I don't think he's really needed in this middle lane right now. Flux is absolutely holding his own. Kraken will be level 6 relatively soon, but Flux is plenty tanky. He doesn't need assistance to survive that combo from Kraken early on. And so my hope is that Engineer will move, but Kraken will pick up a refreshment rune, and Madman's here as well. Actually, this could be a good turn right now. There's going to be Drogon dead right off the bat. Now Flux is a lot of trouble. We'll pop a health potion, gets it canceled by the stock right there. Madman continuing to look for some initiation, has a barrel back active, and Kraken will get the charge, and he's going to get back in up there. That's not going to be enough for Flux to get away, so he will manage to die right there. So 2 kills going the way of the Legion side, and that's obviously what they need to have happen. 1 second. Sorry about that. I really hope that was not super loud. Anyway, so 4-4, but we still have DoCa experience and gold advantage. Top lane is getting pushed in as well, as Tempest has managed to rotate over from the jungle. We really haven't seen Hanzi Hinter at all, as he's not really felt it necessary to gank 0-0 and 0, but 330 gold per minute, so he's had a pretty damn good time in that jungle farming. Madman gonna get jumped on once again right here, and there's the Tempest ult, gonna lock him down and kill him, of course, giving vision, so cannot get away with that stock. Pretty easy kill on I Love Sonya once again, and they will take out the top tower, so we'll be continuing to expand for this Hellborn team. Middle lane Kraken did take some more pressure. Did not die, of course, obviously. He is level 6 and quite tanky, plus the charge makes it rather difficult to kill him. Nonetheless, they will be continuing to try. Actually, there's the keg, and this could be enough. Yeah, Blazo going to get finished off despite the use of the release of Kraken right there. So not only does he die, but he will not have access to his ultimate when he comes back up. And that's going to prevent him from being able to effectively get any counter kills either in the middle lane or anywhere else. And he's continuing to go Don't Care's way. Game 2 looking a lot like Game 1. And that's obviously very bad for Team Zenzyg. Even Predictable's farm in this bottom lane, not looking great. Madman going to take a push from the top. As Predictable's at 330 GPM, which is honestly kind of pitiful considering the lane he was supposed to be in and considering how powerful Luna is as a lane support. He really should be at 400 plus even without any kills, and he does have the assist. So I mean, I just don't know why he's missing CS, but he definitely is. You see he's actually got the same CS as Gunblade, who is solo in the top lane against the Madman, and has spent a lot of time trying to harass the Madman out and kill him top lane. There's the Demonic Shield. He will take a splash as well, and Gunblade could actually be in some trouble. Going to turn back around into Tempest. Gets charged into the trees, though, and he actually could be in a lot of trouble right here. There's a kickdown. Will hit both, though, and all of a sudden here's a turn onto Madman. He's going to end up falling. Could barely get a stock off in time. Ultimate from Gunblade coming out from Kraken. He's going to turn it around, though. Probably a kill on now. He's getting a little bit too aggressive here. They will finish off Kraken, but not a great play from Gunblade there, thinking he had more support than he did, and he was going to have a better time killing Wazo than he was, and I'm not really sure why he thought, you know, Kraken, out of all heroes, who go down that quickly, but probably should have just left it to his teammates, maybe provided some backup support, but attaching himself to that Kraken, not the greatest move in the end. And now 3-2. Now is 3-2-2, so still a good score, still 400 GPM, and he's definitely playing well. But a couple of mistakes right there, resulting in 2 deaths, and the only other hero obviously near his GPM is Tempest, so things in general going very well in favor of Don't Care as we approach the 10-minute mark, and you can see items start to pile up a little bit. The lane Kraken can take a kickstun and a pullback in from Flux. Energy field's there as well. This Kraken gets dropped on 2. Here comes Warby Snowmoon, and that's going to be at least 1 kill. Flux almost going to go down. No, pushes everybody away with the ultimate. Warby's so fast, though. Coming back in, gets pushed away again from Flux. Will eventually take him down, and the tower aggro was not on him, so he should be able to get out of here no problem. Barrel comes in from Madman, trying to slow down the engineer. There's a splash and the auto. And, the torrent and the auto, and it'll be 2 kills in the middle lane. It's really, really nice rotation there from Team Zenzyg, realizing they're probably going to try to set up on that Kraken, get the counter kills, and they get the counter initiation, and they get the kills, as they don't even lose the Kraken. In the bottom lane, Gunblade looking to help out the Cthulhu point a little bit, as we have 2 heroes coming in. There's a Ward of Sight here, providing plenty of vision, but won't be enough. And Time to Die sort of hanging out here, but still very tanky. It's going to take a lot to bring him down, so feeling pretty safe, at least to sit here and grab some experience. Pebbles and Madman, though, have the potential to set up a combo right here. They probably need a little bit more, and that's why Aluna is rotating over, but Gunblade is waiting. They obviously see him, as there's a Ward of Sight that watched him walk right down there, and no question he is going to be spotted. Middle lane Kraken going to get locked down by the Tempest ultimate, and that'll be a kill onto Wazo. Bottom lane, it's going to be Pebbles initiating on top of this Cthulhu, and gets finished off by the power throw. Pebbles, though, in a lot of trouble. It will be Gunblade killing him as he uses the ultimate. Now he's going to TP away, realizing they don't have any stuns, and he's gone. No way they can stop that, and no way to kill him. They don't have enough damage. He actually took a bit of a risk here pulling the top tower. If he'd gone back to base, it would have taken less time, and that's why I felt like that TP took forever, but doesn't pay for it, so figuring he had the appropriate amount of life to be able to survive, and makes the correct call. We'll continue to CS in the top lane as the middle tower gets taken out. And more or less everything coming up Don't Care in the initial stages of this game. As they're at 5k gold and 3.5k experience. Abyssal Skulls picked up on Warbeast before he even gets boots, so he's going to really need to stay in the woods if he does not have access to his ultimate, and has to be generally very careful as he uses that to get away, obviously. With no boots at all, he really has to pop the ultimate anytime he wants to engage whatsoever, or if he gets chased down and he doesn't have the ultimate, he's going to be extremely vulnerable. So a little bit of a risky maneuver there from I'm a Cake. But maybe the Legion team feeling like they have to take risks right now, as Pebbles is still not up with his portal key about 2/3 of the way there, and probably needs to get there a little bit quicker than he is, because this is still going to be a 15-minute PK, which is not fast at all. He's at 300 gold per minute. It's just not very impressive. Bottom lane tower will be pushed in right here by Tempest and 3 of his best friends, as it should be pretty easy to take down this tier 1 and give them an additional gold boost, because apparently the Hellborn team does not have enough money already. 400 plus gold per minute on both Tempest and Gunblade, and that will continue to rise. Flux now passing 330, almost 350 in fact. He's got 2 crushing claws, so my guess is the Astrolabe is going to be online for him relatively soon. In fact, he hasn't enough money to buy it right now if he wants to. Oh, sorry, the Tempest already has the Astrolabe, so it's not going to be that for him. Maybe he'll go for a Berry Rattle. Who knows? Cthulhu with the Plated Greaves as well. So lots of team fight stuff, and that's obviously no surprise as this Hellborn team is clearly built on creeping up and pushing down lanes. So they're looking for things like Astrolabe, Plated Greaves to keep the creeps alive, to keep themselves alive, and to keep their push active and force this Legion team to respond to that. And that is what they will do. Pebble's not picking up his portal key, so he's going to have to make use of that. There's a Hellborn Ward of Sight right here, so if he stays in range of it, that could be actually a little bit dangerous. They will have information that he has it. I don't think he's in range of that Ward of Sight right there. We'll be finished off on that tier 2 tower. I don't think the Hellborn team will back off, not wanting to push the base quite yet. Top tower does go down as 2 Legion side heroes push that in. Warbeast, of course, making his ability to split push known, and they're going to jump on Cthulhu right here. Medium tanky target, he's just going to run away. Energy will get popped, and at least Kraken is there on the 2 heroes, but it's going to be predictable, and Pebble's going down first. There goes Kraken as well, and that's exactly what you're going to be concerned about. Jumping that Cthulhu, just not a great idea. 1,000 health and Plated Greaves, doesn't even have vestments, but it was still plenty of survivability to not go down right there. And instead of the Cthulhu kill, the Legion side gets turned, and the brand new portal key from Pebbles is wasted. The surprise factor is wasted. Things once again going poorly for Team Zenzyg, and you gotta wonder how long they are for this game and perhaps this series if this is how they're gonna play. So we'll see if they can stop this push at any point. It's going to be the middle tier 2 tower getting heavily pressured right here as Tempest and Gunblade are trying to push it down. Top lane, I'm Cake on that Warbeast is continuing to try to take down opposing heroes, or opposing towers. And as I said before, the split push potential of this Legion side is pretty good. But he will be opposed now as both the Engineer and Flux head up there. They will stop that initiation from the Pebbles, and you can actually chuck him back onto his teammate. Tempest Toll, they're locking down 4 heroes. The question is, do they have enough follow-up damage to do anything about this? They really don't. So Tempest Toll, very pretty right there, but not going to get anything accomplished. In fact, Tempest is the one that's going to be falling right here, as Gunblade was like, I can't do anything about that. Nice hole, man, but not useful. Sorry. And it will be Gunblade running away and teleport. And also, guys, about Cthulhu right, he was actually going to stun right back into Pebbles. Engineer Keg and Flux is here as well, so Madman could be in some trouble. In fact, it's time to die on the Cthulhu who dies first. Dust of Revelation will spot out Madman, but he gets away no problem with the stock. So 2 good kills coming out here from Team Zenzyg. Predictable picking up both of them. And he's back at 345 GPM, the top 5 on his team. We'll see what he goes for next in terms of items. My guess is something teamfight oriented. Demonic Breastplate would certainly not be a poor choice, but that might be something that Warbeast chooses to pick up, so we'll see what he chooses to go for here. Speaking of Warbeast, he has picked up Steam Boots right here. In fact, they're going to jump on top of the Aluna. Will they have enough damage to kill her? Yeah, they should. Yep. And it's Trogan's Engineer that will get that last kill. Meanwhile, middle lane Kraken, and he jumped on by the Gunblade. That'll be another kill. But this Kraken does get 3 heroes. Here comes Pebbles as well. Gunshot, and it's going to be Engineer falling right off the bat. Gunblade now taking a lot of damage. Pushed away by Flux. Not going to matter here. The tower helps finish him off. Now Flux is like, crap, I got to get out of here. Has no mana left. Pebbles has a portal key back up in 1 second. Actually uses the Portman's portal key on Madman right there to get pushed away. And now Pebbles going to need to save his mana for his stun, which comes back up in 2 seconds. Tempest trying to get away with the Astrolabe. Not going to be enough. And then you turn on the Madman with 2 of them coming in here. Flux is still going to die. And 2 of them in a 2v1. Gets chucked back up in the air. Trying to run away here now is Gunblade coming back in. He used a buyback actually. That's not going to amount to too much as Warbeast just backs on out of there. So he will save time to his life, but gets no counter kills out of it. And a really good engagement right there for Team Zenzyg is the Hellborn team doing exactly what they can't do, and that's run in one at a time. Look at the Legion side's cooldowns. They're all very low, except for the Leaf the Kraken and the Warbeast ultimate are actually not even that low. As Cthulhu getting a jump once again, does charge away though, and he should be fine as he sips that bottle. So this Legion team can take fights that take a long time, as their cooldowns are very short in general, or almost non-existent. And so if you try to, engage 2-on-2, 3-on-2, or something like that, and slowly bring other heroes into the fight, the Hellborn team is not going to do what they want to. They really have to wait until their cooldowns are up, force team fights, force team pushes, and win the game that way, which is what they were doing before, and I'm not really sure why they've abandoned that plan. It seems like the communication might be a little bit off here, as they don't really know where they want to be and when, and they're not effectively saying, alright, we're going to push this lane at this time. Now on this Gunblade in particular, seems like he's not really on the same page. We saw him not really be able to fault the Tempest ultimate. I don't know whose fault that was. It could definitely be Hansi Hinter's fault if he said, I'm going to Tempest Hole and Tempest Hole, and now it's like, okay, why? I can't do anything about that. But then in the middle lane as well, jumping on top of Kraken, getting caught out and stuff like that. He's just really not all that tanky. And nonetheless continues to try to dive towers and things like that. Actually has the Steam Boots and Mystic Vestments, so he's tankier than he should be. But still just doesn't eat all that much damage. That doesn't do very much damage here as well, as he's just doing. He's using too much of his gold to try to avoid dying. Will be a middle tower pushed in once again, so that's going to be the last outer tower finished off by the Hellborn team. And they're going to apparently start to push the base right here as the Legion side's pushing down the bottom lane. Feeling like they can split push more effectively, obviously, and they can because they have way more towers down. So Legion side going to be forced to pull back right here. As Tempest spawns his elementals, and it should be a pretty solid push actually. Nope, Pebbles going to miss the stun, and they're going to push everybody back in. This Kraken is there. That's just not the Tempest ultimate, but here's the energy field. It's 1 dead, 2 dead off the bat as both Pebbles and the Kraken fall while he's running away in his ulti form. He's going to barely survive, but really, really good engagement right there from DoCa, and that's exactly the kind of thing they need to take. Admin coming back in with the ult can be a little bit annoying, but can't do too much to actually get them off of this. Those middle towers falling pretty heavily. Buyback used on Pebbles as he will use that to force them out of their base. But in the end, not a bad engagement from the Hellborn team. They get 2 kills, they force buyback, and they do a pretty good amount of tower damage in the meantime. And don't care getting back to what their lineup was built to do, and all of a sudden, that seems to be working a lot better. Who would have guessed? So we'll see if they can continue to do that, or if they're going to make some strange decisions like they have in the past. Warbeast picking up a 370 GPM, 3-0 and 0, so I'm a cake, not doing badly at all in terms of his CS or his hero kill score, but the GPM is a little bit lackluster still. Obviously didn't have the greatest start in the world and is trying to recover from that and doing a solid job of it, but really not doing all that well. 370 GPM unpredictable as well, and that Pebbles not bad, and actually it's Madman who's doing surprisingly well in my opinion. 3-5 and 9 and yet 300 gold per minute, so he's not a force. I mean, he's definitely something, and he's going to pick up either a Shrunken Head or a Brutalizer here. My guess is it'll be the Shrunken Head, as the Hellborn team has plenty of magic damage, lots of stuns and ways to control him, and he really wants to be mobile in these fights. Brutalizer will be helpful, but not hugely so. I think if he can just manage to stay alive and be an annoyance, that will be much more positive for this Legion side. It's going to be Shrunken Head up on Warbeast as well, as he's realized with the ulti form with the Shrunken Head, there's not too much this Hellborn team can do to me, and I think he's probably right about that. So the physical damage at this point is just very, very lacking, and once he gets that Shrunken up, he's going to be nigh unkillable. Pebbles picking up a Mighty Blade as well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd Shrunken Head on this Legion side. Kraken has finished off his portal key, looking for Steam Boots, as he's got the Mystic Vestments, not the Mystic Vestments, the Apprentice Robe on top of his boots, so about 100 more gold here, and he will have finished off his Steam Boots. And then of course finished on Striders and the Mystic Vestments. So I like to see the Mystic Vestments pick up because it's very effective, especially if you can afford a Shrunken Head because you're a support hero. But obviously the additional magic armor relatively cheap and can do a lot to keep you alive in this fight. So generally a fan of the Legion team items. Hellborn side meanwhile has a portal key on the Tempest. That's definitely not bad, as in general, you know, it's just a good item. I slightly would have preferred the Shrunken Head here, I think. Sure, Kraken's ultimate will still cancel it, but that's the only cancel you have for it, and that's going to force Kraken to stay back in these fights and not ulti until Tempest ultis, or it's going to put the Legion side in a position where they have, you know, the opportunity to get locked down a lot by Tempest. So portal key can be very helpful, especially with the chase potential, but it's not going to make Tempest any tankier, it doesn't make him hit any harder, which isn't helping too much in these team fights in general, and I think that he's going to get PK and cancelled very quickly and easily without a Shrunken Head, as both Luna and Pebbles can therefore remove his ultimate from being effective. And Gunblade, going to pick up a Firebrand here. Wouldn't be surprised if he turns that into a Geometer's Band. I believe that's the typical build. Top lane is going to be jump. Madman's going to try to initiate here, and it is going to be... What the hell is that Gunblade? Yeah, that's a really weird bug right there from him. Flock's actually going to turn in for the combo. Madman gets dusted out. That's going to be a kill. We'll see if Pebbles can survive this. I'm thinking he can. He's going to portal key back up in a second. Cthulhu's going to need to stop that, but he actually will. As for some reason Pebbles did not portal key. I don't know why. And the rest of the Hellborn team will collapse on top of him. Predictable to fall there as well. Just an absolutely unnecessary death. If he PKs away, he should be fine. And that's just not... I don't know why he did that. He had mana, I believe. I didn't see him being out of mana. That was very strange. Oh well. 2 more kills on DoCa's side, so actually doing what Legion side needs to do and helping and picking off some heroes in the lane, obviously trying to get that kill on cut a little bit. Just barely unsuccessful. It's surprisingly tanky. 150 health along with the Mystic Vestments does take quite a bit to bring down, especially if your magic damage base like Pebbles is. And finishing off the Hellborn's items, Flux has that portal key they showed off in the top lane there, and has picked up a Mighty Blade of his own, so on top of the Fortified Bracer. So again, Shrunken Head probably in the works for a team, or against a team that is, you know, has a lot of magic damage, just like the Hellborn team does. I believe that was his Shrunken that he just finished off. Tempest is working on a Shrunken of his own, so good that he's getting it. Too bad it's a little bit late, in my opinion, and oh well. We'll see how quickly he can farm it. He's at 370 GPM, so it shouldn't be too long before he has his Shrunken finished up. Engineer with Vestments, and the Striders looking a lot like Aluna here on the other side. Tufin has the Plated Greaves, Helm of the Black Legion, and a Mighty Blade for another Shrunken Head. So Shrunken Head's coming out all over the place in this game, no huge surprise. Lots of stuns and lots of magic damage on both teams, so each side thinking they can survive a hell of a lot longer if they can pick the Shrunken, which will be ironic because they'll survive longer, but the fact that they don't have items that do physical damage means that they're not going to kill anything either, so these fights are basically just be like 10 seconds of waiting for a Shrunken Head to wear off, and then people killing each other after that. It's kind of funny. Anyway, Flux does finish off his Shrunken Head, as I suggested there. What a revelation here, sort of spotting out this Hellborn team's movement. And they're trying to run through the Legion jungle to catch somebody out of position to try to set up a push in this middle lane. And that's not going to be successful right here. In fact, given the lack of vision from the Legion side and how much the Hellborn knows about that, they obviously have a Ward of Rev right here in the Kongor pit. And in fact, just do counter ward that Ward of Rev as well. Yeah, Kongor is going to be the focus, and that's good. That's exactly what I was hoping for from DoCa. If they can pick the token on this gunplay, they can do a lot, especially because the Legion side does seem to have focused in the last couple of team fights. They will be spotted out here later with power throw, but honestly, I'm not sure if the Legion side can rotate over here quickly enough to do anything about this combo throw. It looks like they share the same opinion, and they're just not even trying to stop it. So this will be a token of life on Gunblade, and we'll see how much use they can make of that. My guess is a fair bit, because having Gunblade die in these fights is actually a bit of a problem right now. It will no longer be such an easy kill. Top lane does get pushed in a little bit, in fact, by the Pebbles and his Illusion, so it's power down to half health, which isn't bad at all. And kick on that Warbeast to obviously push that lane earlier, soften it up a little bit for Pebbles, presumably. And the additional push, quite positive. So we'll see what the Hellborn team chooses to do. They have all of their cooldowns available and a Token of Life, so you'd think that they'd want to move sooner rather than later. They still have, maybe 4.5 minutes left on the token because they just got it, but definitely not something that you want to necessarily wait on, because it might take you a while to siege that base, especially against the power throw, the barrel roll from Madman, that sort of thing. You can have the creeps die relatively quickly, so they're thinking probably that they can get some free farm time out of it, at least on Gunblade. He can get up to his next item. The question is, what is that item going to be? He's got 3,000 gold saved up, so it's probably going to be something substantial, and he has enough of the Geometry's Bane right here if he wants to buy it. Clearly that's not his choice, so it's perhaps going to be a Dawnbringer. And he's about 1,000 gold off of that. Sorry, 2,200 gold after that. What, 1,200 gold off? I can't even math, apparently. Now he's about 1,000 gold off of it, so a couple more creep camps and he should have it. And we'll see if he checks out Madman at the top lane. Nope. Madman 326 GPM. Still nobody in the Legion side crossing 400, but Warbeast is fun. Continuing to pick up. Predictable's dropping off a little bit, and I Love Sonya also getting up there. So you did notice that the Legion side has the dual carry. I mean, they've got Madman and Warbeast. So definitely late game potential is pretty high on their side. Madman finishing off Shrunken Head right there. Warbeast finishing off a Shield Breaker. So their damage potential is actually quite solid now, not only in terms of the magic, but the physical as well. And we'll see how that affects the Shrunken Head pickups on the Hellborn team. We're going to see a lot of them finish right around the same time as that physical damage starts to explode from this Legion side, especially with that Shield Breaker on Warbeast. And that's going to negate a lot of the value of that Shrunken Head, especially because Flux got it a little while ago. He hasn't been able to finish off. Actually, it's going to be Gunblade buying one himself. So we do have two Shrunkens picked up right here on the Hellborn team. I'm surprised Tempest hasn't finished off his yet, but I'm guessing he's either sitting on a Warhammer or something, because he should have more gold than he does. And maybe looking to finish off a couple of creeps to get his own Shrunken Head. And that's really the one that they probably want to wait for, too, if they're going to take this push in the middle lane. And they clearly want to do that. I mean, if you're going to wait for anybody's Shrunken Head, I think Tempests would be slightly more valuable than Gunblades, because Gunblade has that Token of Life. So, Gunblade getting a Shrunken obviously is still very helpful, but not quite as critical as Tempest in my opinion. So hopefully they'll give some of these creeps to Tempest. No, they don't. He has 1,300 health, or 1,300 gold right here, though. So, however much he is short, it can't be that much. start to slow push a little bit. This tower obviously relatively weak, and they want to continue to siege it down. It's going to be easier with the Tempest Elementals, but still not the greatest or the simplest task in the world. You see Engineers finally rotating in. That was actually a little bit dangerous for them to push him right there. If they got initiated on the Legion side, having the 4v5, that could have been a pretty serious issue. Having the energy field, the turret, the keg, can do a lot for you in these team fights, and especially if it's the Flux on energy combo that they're already looking for. And if the Legion side were aware of that, would have been surprised if Hex didn't jump. Madman's got that spotter right here. They have every idea where he is. Can't see him because of the stock, and they're going to initiate right there actually with the Kraken ultimate onto 3. Cthulhu's going to charge out of it. There's the Tempest Hull. It's only going to catch one though. His Engineer dies before he can get the energy. No, he did get the energy field off in the background because he messed up. And this is not going particularly well for the Hellborn team. Gunblade going to get chased out right here. Shieldbreaker doing a lot of damage. Barrel actually hits 3. They're going to wait for Gunblade to come back up with the Token of Life. Warbeast ultimate does wear off though. There's a Shrunken Head coming out from Gunblade. We'll see if he can actually turn anything around right here. He just does not do any damage. He's getting wrecked. It's going to be the Pebble surviving just barely as he's trying to get out of there. Gets a stun from Tempest. That is eventually going to take Pebbles down. No, he's going to survive as they finish off the Tempest. A fantastic engagement there for Team Zenzyg as they take out 4 heroes and lose only the 2. Tempest Hull only on the 1 hero, and they really didn't time that very well. Engineer in the background putting up the energy field. He has a portal key. I believe it was canceled by Madman, and that's why he couldn't get forward. So obviously a serious issue right there, as if he had put the energy field down, that could have been a very different fight, and that could have been a 1 fight for Team Don't Care. If Tempest had managed to get his ultimate onto 2 or 3 heroes, that could have been a 1 fight right there. So a lot of issues going through with the engagement and the execution that's resulting in Zenzyg taking a pretty nice team fight. Pushing this in, and Engineer going to jump on by Pebble. That's going to be an easy kill. Flux and Cthulhu are here though, but the Flunkin's heads are up the Legion's side. Wow, Flux just gets melted by Warbeast. Cthulhu taking a lot of damage as well. That Shieldbreaker doing so much work right here. He's going to be falling as that Warbeast ultimate is just crushing people, wears off at the perfect time. It's going to result in a tier 2 tower kill here. The double damage on Madman is of course helping out that. Helping the tower die. Tempest coming back in, gets the stun on Madman. He has a TP coming through, but actually Gunblade gets stunned by Pebbles. Gets chucked back on. They deny the Madman and kill Gunblade just when he respawns. That's also not what you're looking for. Aluna finally going to join the party. Should have a stun right here. Yeah, there's the chuck. Plenty of damage, and the stun actually Ramate picking up the kill with the power throw. Warbeast popping the ultimate once again because that's how the cooldown is at this point. He will be able to get the tower here is my expectation to chuck does some damage to it with the wolves just absolutely wrecking this. And this should be Rax actually. And you see Flux coming back up in 5 seconds and Cthulhu in 10. That's not going to be enough time to save the Rax. Engineer is going to try to slow him out as much as he possibly can. Stun will hit Warbeast, but at the very least they could sacrifice the Warbeast to get the Rax. Not anything necessary. Actually, it might. Yeah, there's the end field going to go down here. Warbeast going to TP away with the Shrunken Head. He should be fine. Yep, and they will lose the Aluna, but that's absolutely okay for 2 towers and the Rax. Something you'll absolutely take the hard support death for that. And all of a sudden, Team Zenzyg in a lead here. 2k gold advantage, 5k experience advantage, and the Hellborn team not looking as good as they should. The execution in their team fight has just been kind of poor, to be honest. I mean, it seems like they're not coordinated. They don't know when they're jumping in. Tempest, in particular, getting only the 1 hero in his ultimate, and 3 heroes getting Kraken ultimate. I really feel like Tempest needs that Shrunken Head. I think he's a little bit too scared of having his ultimate canceled right now without it. Even with no portal key, I think he'd probably be getting better ultis off if he had a Shrunken Head available to him, but not having that a bit of a problem right here. As we see, the items also start to pile up on the Legion side. You got a Basher on Madman, so he's going to start to be a pretty serious force right here. Going to be able to stun people out. Gunblade especially with that demonic shield, likes to be mobile, wants to use the Shrunken Head to not get locked down. Basher says, I don't care, I'm going to stun you physically right through that Shrunken Head and you will be mine, I can kill you. Warbeast picking up these Soul's Bulwark, so it will be Demonic Breastplate on him as opposed to Pebbles. Pebbles in fact getting an ultimate orb, my guess is that's going to be a Sheepstick. So lots of stuff getting picked up here on the Legion side. Kraken working on his Shrunken Head as he's got just 250 GPM, so he's able to go for some more personal items as opposed to team fight stuff to make sure that he can stay alive and effective in these fights. Hellborn team, meanwhile, we'll see what Gunblade goes for next. Tempest still looking for the Shrunken Head, pick up about 600 gold off of that right now, and they really need to give him the space to finish off that item, because he's got Tempest ultimate back up again. He's level 15. If he can hit level 16, finish off his Shrunken Head, he can be a lot more helpful in this fight. Actually, no, he's going to get caught out by the Pebbles. There's Liz cracking right on his face as well. The stun's not going to do anything from Engineer, as the Shrunken Heads were up all over the place, and HoN's Hunter going to take another death, has no buyback, and this bottom lane going to get pushed in very well as well. The question is, do they have anything? They're going to jump Energy Field actually in the background, features 4 heroes, Flux pushes everybody back in, no Shrunken Heads available. It's going to get right off the bat on that Aluna. Flux now trying to run away, should be okay. And it's going to be Kraken with the double damage, trying to finish off Gunblade. That's going to be successful. Now Flux won't be able to finish off Kraken before he dies. It's a 2-for-1 still, despite the good jump from the Hellborn team. Kraken going to miss a charge right there with a shot onto Engineer. Buybacks being used all over the place. They will finish off the Kraken. Looks like Hell's next on the list. Madman trying to get away with the stock. Hell's in a nice stun right there, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive, as it's going to be Brogan finishing off the kill on Engineer as he comes back into the fight. And 2 buybacks used right there, I believe, on Flux and Gunblade. It does successfully defend their bottom racks. They still do lose a tower, but not a great engagement in general as the Legion side. Lost a few heroes, but they traded more or less evenly. Plus they got a tower, plus they forced a lot of buybacks from the Hellborn team. And looks like Team Zenzyg is actually starting to take a pretty serious lead right here. 500 GPM on Ina Cake on this War Beast, all of a sudden coming out of nowhere with this great performance. As he's 8-0-5, definitely having a very, very nice game, and I think it's coming back to a lot of things on this Hellborn team. The Legion side definitely playing well, but you got to question the Gunblade pick. I think you got to question the Tempest's item build, and you have to question some of their decision making when it comes to taking these team fights. So we'll see if they can execute a little bit better. Tempest still without a Shrunken Head, and the question is, why do you want to fight when he is 700 gold away from a Shrunken? Just get him the Shrunken Head. Instead, Gunblade is taking these creep camps. What's the point? He's out of buybacks, he's got 1,000 gold, he's not close to an item, and there's no reason in my mind to give him that farm when Tempest really, really clearly needs it. And he will get closer and closer to that Shrunken Head right now, but he's being forced to farm in some pretty dangerous places, this Legion jungle, where they have absolutely no vision, and they could get jumped by the Legion side at any point, who have a lot of burst damage and have already shown that they have no inability to take out Tempest whatsoever. So, a little questionable, more than a little questionable even, from my perspective. By the way, Flux saving up 2,000 gold right here. We'll see what he has. My guess is the Soul's Bulwark will be on the way for him. Engineer finishing off a push book. He actually got 250 gold per minute, so Drogan on that hard support Engineer doing very well in terms of the overall item situation. Cthulhu finished on the Frostfield plate. I don't see too often in general, but Cthulhu does tend to enjoy picking it up as it'll give him some much needed mana regeneration. And of course the additional armor assisting with his tankiness. So he's going to be very difficult to bring down right here. Still no Shrunken on his side, but not the biggest deal in the world. So he can probably make do without it. Kraken on the Legion side has finished off his Shrunken Head. And my guess is Warby says something stashed because he had the Bulwark for a while. And he currently is only sitting on 100 gold despite having 500 GPM. So yeah, something is definitely on the way. Courier, my guess is the finish on the Demonic Breastplate. And yeah, that'll be it. So Warby's going to be even more powerful in these fights, and so will Madman and Pebbles and Kraken. Speaking of Pebbles, he probably should have something else up his sleeve right now as well. He's 400 gold per minute. He's been sitting on those items for a long time. 2,400 gold saved up. Probably very close to having that sheepstick, which is even more trouble for everybody in the Hellborn team, particularly Gunblade and Tempest, as they've shown that those are the heroes they want to focus on in these fights, especially at the early stages. So we're going to see Pebbles portal key in with the sheepstick and then the combo, and then a dead Gunblade and or Tempest. And without those heroes, it's going to be very difficult for the Hellborn team to fight because they really don't have that much damage. I mean, even coming from Gunblade, you guys don't have that much damage. Taking the damage chart right here, 12% from Gunblade, 11% from Flux, 10% from Cthulhu. So, is that enough? I don't really think so. And it's going to be combo here as well. So, I should be able to finish this off relatively easily. And the token, I guess it was Warbeast really the one to take that and drop his teleport. That should more or less allow them to just kind of like run into the Hellborn base and take it out. Now, the Hellborn team is aware of this, but the Legion side is aware that they're aware. Two of them going to hit two people with this trample, flux and pull everybody back in. There's an energy field in the background as well. And this ultimate actually has not been used as he's going to die before anything can get off. The Legion side absolutely crushing this fight, unbreaking the foe. Eventually, there goes Engineer as well. He's going to get locked down and killed. As if they can find him, Irish gets the portal key away, and he might survive. There's a PK back up on Pebbles. We'll see if they choose to chase him. Kegs then pushes him away, and actually the snipe from a Luna, very well thrown, and that will be a genocide in favor of the Legion team. Actually, sorry, I didn't even realize Pebbles died. And that's going to be the game, actually, as Team Zenzyg comes out of nowhere to take game 2. The way that was starting, you really would have thought, you know, Zenzyg not looking great, not maybe looking like they could possibly force a game 3, and, you know, poor laning phase nonetheless turned into a victory because of some interesting plays from Team DoCa, but hey, Zenzyg will take it any way they can get it, and that's going to result in a third and final game in the series. So I'll be doing that one very quickly, immediately. So I don't know where that sentence was going, but somewhere. And obviously this is all still on VOD, so hey, you can just watch it right now, can't you? Alright, I'll see you guys next game.